Folks, drama been drama, a rap drama, all a drama, a rap drama. Ay, 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 ay. A lot of things happen in parliament today, which some people are calling confusion. But according to me, there wasn't very much confusion because everything was a well choreographed move to ensure that the president's memorandum would pass by hook or by crook. And of course it did. And tomorrow, the president signs it into law, shortly before he leaves the country, for the General Assembly engagement he has. But of course, this is not the end of the story, because there even talks that some legislators will go to court to contest the way this law was actually passed. And guess what? They'll have the full support of the majority of Kenyans. But there was something else that shocked me right up to my bones. And it should shock you too. And even more, get you extremely worried. And I'll come to that in a minute. But first, let's take a quick trip to Kampala, as some people call it, Kampala, Uganda, where controversial legislator Robert Changolani, better known as Bobi Wine, touched down today. He was returning from treatment in the United States. Treatment for what? Treatment for torture and beatings by the security goons of Dictator Yoweri Museveni. And that is where there are very many people who feel that his decision to return to Uganda at this time was nothing short of plain suicide. Anyway, shortly after he touched down, the man was arrested on the tarmac. Or maybe the right word to use is kidnapped. He was kidnapped by security forces right on the tarmac, shortly after he came out of the Kenya Airways flight that had just gotten in there. Now, of course, the Ugandan authorities denied that they had arrested him, or kidnapped him, and instead they told us they had given him safe passage, and good security and an escort to his home in Kampala. Now, that one is hilarious, because if Bobi Wine needs protection, the last place he should get that protection is from any people related to the government. Because in Uganda, the people who murder politicians, kill politicians, are government goons. Actually, the real reason why this was done, and this should be obvious to many who have observed the Ugandan political scene, was that Museveni was avoiding the hero's welcome that was awaiting Bobi. You see, Bobi Wine is already the people's president, and of course, the other fake president of the country was bound to feel jealous because there was absolutely no signs, no evidence, no suggestion that the welcome party would be violent or that it would cause chaos. Well, we're now back to that situation where Yoweri Museveni's worst nightmare is back in the country. Of course, Museveni's worst nightmare is this man called Bobi Wine. Because Bobi Wine is smart and he's got the support of the people. And so going forward, we should expect nothing less than plenty of fireworks from Uganda. As the bloodthirsty dictator gone mad, Yoweri Museveni, ponders his next move against this opponent of his. Now let's take a short trip to Tanzania, where a tragedy has occurred today. A ferry capsized, turned upside down on the water, and it is reported that already the death toll is as high as 40. But then it is not known how many people were actually on that ferry. My sincere condolences to those who have lost loved ones, and let us hope that something will be done to get to the bottom of how this thing actually happened. Now back to Kenya. Now the thing that has shocked me is this new parliament. This new parliament is really flexing its muscles. I believe those who are regulars on this channel will have heard me saying that before. Folks, this is a parliament that does not know political party affiliations or even party positions. I don't think I need to remind you that the Jubilee Party had a meeting in State House on Tuesday morning. yeah, where the party leader, who is also the president of the country, called them in and spent quite a bit of time convincing them to vote for this memorandum. The memorandum to officially legislate the 8% tax on VAT, amongst other taxation measures. On the same Tuesday, NASA leader Raila Odinga spent quite a bit of time with the NASA legislators, actually ODM legislators, who make a vast majority of the total NASA legislators in the House. But what happened in the House today? These legislators completely rebelled against their party leadership, and they spoke very loudly on behalf of the Kenyan people. But what happened? There was rigging in parliament. Yeah, there was pop. The memorandum was gone through. Now, in the initial vote taken, it is said that actually the side supporting the government and the executive, the side in support of the implementation of this 8% tax on fuel, actually won. Now, it became very clear later on that there's no way they would have won. And I'll give you the two main reasons. The first reason is a clip that has circulated on social media over the last few hours, which shows the speaker actually saying that the A's have it. Those saying yes, those on the government side. While it was very clear from the clip that those who were saying nay or no were the majority, vast majority. The second was the electronic board showing the results. Because apart from the result, the electronic board showed that there were actually 352 members inside the House. I'm telling you, these guys who rig elections in Kenya, they were not very good in mathematics. Because we saw it in August. You see various polling centers which have more votes, more people voting than actually registered voters. Anyway, the most disturbing thing about these figures that appeared on the electronic board is that currently, wait for this one, there are about 45 members of the House outside the country. 45. But the electronic board gave us a result of 352. Well, that's Kenya for you. That is the country of pop, and you get your results. We are so advanced that it's all computerized. Massive fraud against the people of Kenya is always computerized. It's only that those guys working out the figures, mwalimu wao wa mathematics alikuwa nani? Otherwise, if they had gotten the arithmetic correctly, it would have been very hard to detect. Or rather, it would have been a bit harder to detect, because there was that shouting afterwards that made it very clear. Anyway, this is what is worrying me, and I'm sure it is the same thing that is really worrying State House. It is the same thing that really worried those who organized for this rigging right inside Parliament to do what they did. What is worrying me? What is worrying me is that this Parliament we have now is capable of doing anything. This is the kind of Parliament that can force a fresh general election tomorrow. That is what scares me. Okay? Now I know some of you may be saying, Chris, why should you be scared? That's exactly what we want. We want all these guys to go home. We get a fresh new face in the country, of leaders. Well, I'm scared because it's not that simple. For starters, who tells you if you have an election tomorrow, there'll be no pop going on? There'll be no fraud. Who tells you? Anyway, we'll go for a short break. When we come back, I'll tell you something that will have your ears ringing. Don't go away. Now, apart from the fact that we only have 349 members in the House, yet the electronic board showed 352. Yeah, 3 more. And even then, at a time when 45 of those 349 members are out of the country, meaning that the actual figure, maximum figure of legislators who should have been in the House should have been 304. Yeah, but actually the board said 352. Apart from that, yeah, there are 2 other very big issues I'd like to draw your attention to. Number 1, when this is signed into law tomorrow by the president, okay, it will be the biggest single implementation of a wide range of taxes at the same time, yeah, or of taxes being increased at the same time. It has never happened before in our history. Now, you don't need to be an economist or an expert in figures to know that that is going to have a very huge effect on the living standards and on the life of Kenyans. It is going to result in a lot of hardships. Yeah, companies are going to go out of business, etc., etc. People are going to lose their jobs, and you know, as Africans, so many people depend on us. We have our immediate family, our extended family, etc., etc. Yeah. In other words, the effect those taxes are going to have is going to be unprecedented. Okay, that's number 1. Now, number 2 is even worse. Number 2, those taxes, you know, that heavy burden of taxes that has been implemented is not enough. In other words, the government will have to find other ways, yeah, of bridging the gap in the budget. And the only 2 options they have is to have even more taxes. And the other option is even worse. The other option is to find somebody who can still lend money to Kenya. Now, that is even worse because it's going to dig us deeper into the hole of debt which we have already sunk into. And that is precisely why I told you in my recording yesterday that the big drama, yeah, was not the drama today in Parliament. Although that drama was huge, yeah, still I hold on, yeah, to my view that that was not the big drama. So what is the big drama? The big drama is what is going to happen to us Kenyans going forward. We are entering a period of great economic and financial difficulties. A time of hardships never ever before seen in our country. Now, there's something that is even going to make matters much worse than they already are. And this is the politics. Yeah. Now, of course, all of us get very excited when people are very hyper-political. We get very excited when politicians are finally speaking on behalf of the people. Yeah, that's normal, and maybe that's good. However, in the particular situation where Kenya is right now, it is not good. In fact, that's not putting it correctly. It is catastrophic. Why do I say that? Now, let me just start by giving you a very simple example. You have this home, yeah, where the man has just lost his job. Yeah. Therefore, that house, that family, is going through some very difficult financial situation. Now, in that kind of scenario, the best way the family should be able to handle this is by being completely united. You know, sitting down together, understanding their predicament, and all pulling together so that they can get out of the financial hole. The ideal situation is for the kids to understand money has become very tight. So they sit down by themselves and decide we're even going to play our part, yeah, in saving this family. So for instance, they decide no more hot showers on their own, yeah, without being forced. They decide they will not have hot showers in order to save on electricity and to bring down the costs in that house. They decide instead of taking the matatu to school, they'll wake up 1 hour earlier and walk to school. And the mother decides that she's going to cut down on the kitchen budget. Yeah, instead of having meat every day, it'll now be meat only twice a week. Now, in this kind of scenario, the head of that house, the man, the chief earner of income, yeah, will have peace of mind. He'll be able to be in that situation where he can be cool and sit down quietly and try to figure out a way forward, yeah, without too much distraction. But when it hits a home that is divided, yeah, maybe the wife is having an affair somewhere, The husband has got mpango kando somewhere else. The children are in a mess, etc., etc. That home is finished. And for a country, it's exactly the same. Yeah, okay, we know why we're in this problem. We know there's been wastage. We know there's been corruption. We know that a lot of people have just pocketed a lot of the money. Yeah, yes, we know that. But that will not help us going forward. The situation in which Kenya is in right now, it's better to chase away the foxes. And then later on, when the hens are safe, we can warn them about straying. Yeah, straying out of their cages so that foxes can have access to them. You don't start warning the chickens when the foxes are already running after them. Yeah, almost grabbing them to eat them up. Yeah, because if you warn them at that time, you'll have no chickens to warn when the crisis is over. Indeed, there'll be no crisis to even talk about because you'll just be finished. All the chickens will be eaten. So ideally, this is a time for the government, yeah, to step down from that high place of theirs and talk to the people. Tell them, look, we're in this situation. Can you all sit down and discuss and find a way forward? However, in my view, actually the government is the main catalyst of what we're experiencing. Because what are they doing? They're not even admitting that we have a problem. Instead, what they're saying everything is okay. And then they're loading the people with taxes. People already in very difficult times are being loaded with new taxes. And to make matters worse, these taxes are being forced through parliament. Yeah, through ways which we also today. Yeah. So when you do that as a government, what do you expect? Of course, the people rebel against your government. Of course, the people frustrate you. So as a government, you are being frustrated as you're trying to get the country out of a hole. Will that really work? Definitely not. Now, according to me, the biggest danger by far, that is facing the country called Kenya, is the fact that too many Kenyans still don't know what is happening. They have no idea. A vast majority of them have bought the government story that everything is okay. A vast majority have no idea why the government has suddenly come up with so many tax measures at the same time. They do not realize that it is a symptom of a very dangerous disease. Yeah, not the disease, it is just a symptom. It is a symptom or a very clear sign that we're in very serious financial difficulties. Now, when I say this is the most dangerous thing, this thing of most people not being aware of exactly what's going on, it is dangerous because you cannot do anything about something which you do not know about, something which you're completely unaware of. Folks, believe me, this crisis that is in Kenya right now is much more serious than even you think. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.